Welcome to the Good Evening Kitties podcast, a Tales from the Crypt review. This is Melissa, your ghostess with the mostest, and I'm here to talk about Season 1, Episode 2, and All Through the House. It aired originally on June 10th, 1989. The screenplay was written by Fred Decker. It's directed by Robert Zemeckis. He also directed many other films, including Romancing the Stone and Castaway. It stars Mary Ellen Trainor. She was in, I think, pretty much all the Lethal Weapon movies. And Larry Drake, who was also in Darkman and did the voice of Pops on Johnny Bravo, among other things. So I'm going to go ahead here and from the back of the case here, read the description. And all through the house. The holiday shopping season runs late when an axe-toting maniac dressed as Santa makes a Christmas Eve visit to a philandering wife who murdered her hubby. Sorry, lady, he's not offering an escape clause. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, so it's super fun episode. They got a great picture of Larry Drake as Santa. He does a great job. He's super creepy. He's missing like a front tooth, and it's creepy. So we'll go ahead and get started on the episode here. So Crypt Keeper walks in. It's played, I'm assuming, by, it's not the puppet, but it looks like he peeled off the face off of a Santa toy and put it on his face, and it's super creepy. He's missing teeth as well in the front, similar to Larry Drake's character. And he pulls out a book and he's getting ready to tell the story, like he does. But this Santa, the Santa is really kind of a creepy face. His eyes are like completely wide open, and it's a pretty creepy thing there. So he opens up the book. He's explaining that's a terror tale and full of holiday fear or cheer. You know how the Crypt Keeper is. Always likes throwing those fun puns around. So he starts the episode. And it starts out with a well. And it's in front of a nice house. At first, I kind of thought it was like a subdivision or so, but I'm pretty sure they're a little more secluded. Especially since they have such a big well. Usually that's more for, it's not super suburban. And it comes in through like a really nice decorated house. And, Christmas music is playing. And the snow is falling, and it's super pretty. It's in the evening, and it's got a couple. I'm just gonna call them Mom and Dad. I don't quite remember her name. Mom and Dad, and they're hanging out. He's reading through a book. I think he's reading through The Night Before Christmas, of course, because All Through the House is from that. So The Night Before Christmas, he's reading through that. There's a fire going. There's cookies out for Santa. Lots of cookies. First, there's like one plate of like a plethora of cookies by the piano. And then there's another plate with a note to Santa with like 5 huge cookies. And really it makes me think, I don't think I really put that many. Well, we did a couple of cookies, I think, when I was a kid with all that. But for Santa and some milk. But, man, if you really think about it, if Santa was around and you got 5 cookies per house, where does he put it all? I mean, I guess that's why he's so round. Anyway, so it's, there's the fire, and, it's bringing it in, like, real slowly into the fire, and the mom is grabbing the poker for the fire, and the husband's sitting there, again, reading some Charles Dickens, or... Oh, wait, that's right. He's reading a Christmas Carol. Okay, that makes sense, too. Yeah. And he's saying something needs to be done about the fire. He asks if his wife has the poker, and she gets this great look on her face. He's like, let me have it. And she's super pumped then. She's like, what's that? And then she hits him over the head with it. It's pretty gross. It's not too bad, because he does this face that's kind of... His eyes are so wide, like it's kind of crazy. And then she's trying to get it out, and she keeps pulling his hair back on the thing, and he's falling back onto the coffee table. And then the little daughter comes down, her name's Carrie, and she's wondering where Santa is. And the mom's like, oh yeah, you're supposed to be asleep, you know. And she keeps saying she sees Santa, you know, Santa's coming. She's all about this Santa. I think she's probably 5, I guess. But she's super into Santa. You find out that the guy is actually her stepfather. His name is Joseph. But the mom is saying, you know, you need to be going to sleep. Let's get you back in bed. She's tucking the daughter into bed. And, you know, the daughter's like, what did you ask Santa for? Like, did you get what you wanted for Christmas? And, you know, she has a really great line. But before that, the daughter is saying, you know, hey, it's hot in here. And then so the mom's like, okay, I'll open the window, which I find... Okay, the windows are super frosty. It is cold outside. It is a blowing cold wind. She does make a point about, like, you know, we don't want you to get pneumonia or sick or anything. But she still opens the window, which that would not have flown in my house during the winter. But, you know, fine. I guess for just a little bit she's going to open the window. So anyway, she comes back over, and the daughter again is like, what did you want for Christmas? You know, Mom, did you get what you wanted? And the best line is she goes, I already got it, sweetheart. And then she's like, I already got it. And it's because he's dead downstairs. The girl doesn't know. So, Mom comes back down. She gets on the phone she has a last will and testament out, I'm assuming of the stepfather, which I guess is right. She's calling her lover, who the plan was to kill this guy for money, which really, I'm not sure why... I mean, I don't know the whole story. They don't really tell you, but, like, I'm not sure why you don't just get a divorce. It's not like he's Carrie's dad or anything. But, you know, she seems like she's still feeling pretty good about this. But yeah, so she calls her boyfriend and everything and says that everything, you know, she leaves a message. Everything is good. He's dead. I'm going to take care of it. Let's do this. And so she goes and she starts to wrap up the husband. She puts a little bag, like a little Christmas bag thing on his head, and starts to drag him outside. She makes a few jokes about him being overweight. He's not, but she's just saying, you know, she could have got to the gym a little bit more. So she drags him outside, and this is where the well comes back into play. And, you know, luckily they have that huge well. It's, you know, just right conveniently outside. And her plan is to toss him down it. And then right when she is bringing him outside and gets him outside by the well, there so happens to be, she has the radio on playing the Christmas music, and there comes up a bulletin about a man who escapes from what I love here is called the Pleasantville Institute for the Criminally Insane. It's a little bit of an oxymoron, but since Pleasantville is the name of the town, you know, it'll go. But they're saying a man who likes to dress up as Santa, who's killed, you know, multiple people already, is running around the area, and he's, you know, criminally insane. He's very crazy. And she doesn't hear that. And then they keep flashing to the door, and, like, her keys fall out of her purse somehow at the front of the door. And it's basically saying, like, for some reason this door likes to shut on itself and sometimes lock on itself, which I'm not sure why it keeps doing that. Usually you gotta have a certain, like, deadbolt or something shut, but somehow this door it comes into play later, but the door likes to shut on itself. So yeah, so she's getting ready to you know, she's got him by the well. It's a very deep well. And right when she goes to throw him in there, he wakes up. And he grabs her by the neck. And that's when, you know, she reaches for the axe. So she steps on his shoulder and into his neck, and eventually he passes back out. And, you know, she's like, good, now he's finally dead. And he is. He's dead now. So, she's now frustrated because she's like, oh my gosh, okay. So she's going to get the axe again, and the axe is missing. And she hears some jingle sounds, like little jingle bells in the distance. And she's like, you know, wondering who that is. And she's walking around and looking for him. She's like, you know, what's going on? And she's looking, and she's over by the front door. She sees nothing. She goes to turn back around, and there he is. And he has the axe, and he is super happy. He is swinging that axe. Great job by Larry Drake. I think he looks really, really good here. He's got a really, like, old, dirty Santa suit. He's got a pillow shoved into his stomach that's popping out a little bit. He's super dirty. His teeth are horrible. He's missing some in the front. He really needs a deep cleaning there on the teeth. His eyes are all wild. He's giggling. Is great. I love it. So he goes to swing for her. She moves, hits the woodpile. He keeps swinging at her. She's evading him. He's getting super irritated now. And they're fighting. She's got a hold of the axe. She grabs an icicle, cuts him upside of the face. It's pretty gross. Kicks him in the genitals. And of course his eyes cross. That's that's what happens on TV when you get kicked there. And so he's at the door, and it's great because his eyes are just huge. And he's at the door, and he's trying to reach in the door, and she's shutting in on him. She's back in the house, and she grabs the axe, and she just nails it right into his arm. And there's a bunch of blood. And he's still able to use that arm. It looks like maybe he wouldn't have been, but somehow he does. And then she goes to call the police. Well, she calls the operator to get her the police. And when the operator asks for the location, she starts thinking, she's like, oh no, I forgot I killed my husband. And so he's out in the lawn. What am I going to do? I can't call now because they're going to come and see what happened. And she hasn't quite gotten, that idea yet, that the first one I got, where you go, how about I just blame it on the killer? But anyway, so then she hears the jingles in the back of the house. She runs over there. He's running around out in the lawn being crazy. You can't see him. She's looking through the window. There's a lot of good, kind of a couple fun jump scares with him. She's looking through the window. She doesn't see anything. She's starting to get nervous. The phone rings. And she's afraid to pick it up. First of all, I think it's just because it scared her. And so she's afraid to pick it up. She's sitting there. She's trying to decide what she wants to do. Because usually cops call you back, when you try to get a hold of it, if you ever hang up on them. Anyone ever done that, they'll call you back. Next thing you know, the tire swing comes through the window where she's standing. He's there, the Santa grabs her by the neck. He's trying to strangle her. He's giggling. He's got cuts all over his face and everything, and she's screaming. That daughter is super deep sleeper. She is screaming. She takes the axe and she hits him with the butt side of it, of the axe head. Knocks him out. He falls next to a little snowman, lays out in the yard. She feels a little better. She's shutting the window up. But seriously, that daughter's a deep sleeper because she was screaming real bad. And so she locks up the window with the shutters. It's not really going to do much, but she feels a little better. She's thinking he's out. This is when they show the clock. You kind of see it's only 8:10 in the evening, which I guess makes sense for the daughter. She's like 5 or something. You would probably have her go to sleep then. But it's about 8:10. The phone rings again. She picks it up. It's the sergeant. And it's not them calling about the earlier call. It's to let everyone know in that vicinity about the man with the mental institution who escaped. And for her, this is the first time she's heard it. She didn't hear the radio. So she's like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. Which, that's when she's starting to get the idea. This guy, everyone knows about him being criminally insane. I could really set him up to take the hit for killing, me killing my husband. And then the sergeant says, we're all going to be checking around the area. We'll be there in about 20 minutes. And she's like, 20 minutes? She's starting to kind of get the idea, but she's not quite, playing to it yet, to where, that she's in danger or anything. But I think she's trying to set up that, now she's knowing about it, the next she'll set it up, to get it to where he's going to be at fault for it. And she's looking at the clock, it's 8:10 or so she's got about till 8:30 to figure out what she's gonna do. She keeps glancing outside, making sure he's still laying in the snow. He is. So she's like, okay, cool. She says to the cop she'll let him know if anything happens. Hangs up the phone. Now she's fully got the idea that she's gonna set this psycho up for the murder of her husband. She's acting out what she's gonna say. She's got the axe. She keeps looking outside. He's still there. He's sleeping or knocked out unconscious by the tire swing in the snowman. This is when the daughter now is kind of stirring in her bed, but she's not awake. She's still stirring. That window is still open up in her room. Kind of like showing you what's gonna happen next. So the mom heads back outside. This time, that door is coming into play for some reason. She tries to prop it up with like an umbrella holder. I don't know why this door is so hard to keep open and everything. And so she goes now to cut up her husband. This part kind of makes me laugh because I feel like this would kind of be like she doesn't want to look. So she swings once, doesn't look, thinks she hits it, looks down, hits the snow next to his head. She's like, crap. So she goes up again. She goes to hit him, this time again in the face or in the chest. Swings again, doesn't look. Other side of the face, hits him in the snow. Doesn't hit him yet. So now she's like, okay, I gotta do this. She goes to swing it this time, hits him directly. Like they say, third time's the charm. Anyway, hits him. Right when she does, for some reason, that shuts the door. Daughter wakes up. Why the daughter wakes up? I don't know. All the other stuff earlier, windows breaking, mom screaming, little door shuts, she comes shooting up out of bed. She's like, Santa? Santa. Like, that's all she cares about right now is Santa. Shoots out of bed. She's up. We're back to, or mom's down there. She's trying to get the keys. She can't find them. They fall through a crack in the stairs by the front door. Now she's upset because she can't get in the house. Somehow this door keeps locking on itself. The daughter wakes up. She goes, she's looking for Santa. She looks out the window, and she sees a little imprint out by the snowman in the tire swing. It's a pretty deep imprint. A lot of snow falling. And the crazy Santa's not there. But his imprint is, and so she's getting excited. But she's still a little bummed because she's like, I guess he's not here yet, whatever that imprint is. So the mom's back out in the front. She's checking for keys on her dead husband to get into the house. Again, she starts to hear the jingles and some laughing. Now she knows she has to get back into the house. She finds the keys eventually. She keeps checking, she's looking for the keys. She heads back up to the door. Again, hears the jingles, but can't see them. She's looking around with her flashlight, can't see anything. So she can't see anything. She's heading up to the door. Some snow falls on her head. She gets the door open with the keys. She got off her husband. She comes back in the house. She's like, well, nothing's going on. It's fine. It's fine. And she gets ready to call the cops. Now she's gotta put on her acting chops here. She's gonna act like she just found her husband, or that, all this. She calls the operator. She's screaming about the killer. His operator's super calm, just wants to know the location. She goes to look back outside to check on her husband. He's been moved, and the axe is missing. Now she's really scared. She drops the phone. She goes running into the study. Up to the window. She's got to check, see if he's still there. Looks in the side of the window. He's gone. He's not in the little hole anymore, or in the little hole out by the snowman. So she gets back on another phone that she still has open to the operator. She's screaming, help me. She tells them their address. Says you gotta hurry. They tell her to stay on the line, find a weapon, and then she thinks to herself, her husband's gun. She can go get that. So she goes into the bedroom closet, the study closet, my bad. Study closet. And she's trying to get the gun, and she's trying to get it, and all of a sudden the door shuts behind her. This house is full of shutting doors. There's like no one there. This house just keeps, I don't know if there's like a draft, I guess. It's kind of an older house. Keeps shutting the door. She turns to grab the doorknob, and it pulls off. She goes to put it back on, pushes the other side of the doorknob out. Very convenient, but then part of me is also like, yeah, that would probably be my luck. Like, I would go to get out, and then that would be the time that doorknob that I kept putting off fixing decides to finally break, you know? And so she's like, oh, you know, she's really worried now. And there's a little window on that closet, and, you know, she's trying to bust out of the door, and as she's trying to get out, she sees a ladder pushing up against that window. And this part makes me laugh, because he's got the Psycho Santa's crawling up the ladder towards the little girl's room. It's not a very tall ladder. I think it's actually like a rose trellis or something. It doesn't look very, very good to climb on. But he's pretty determined looking. He's got the axe. He's slowly climbing up. He sees her in the room. He gets this really creepy grin on his face. And he looks up at the daughter and looks back down at her. And he's just, you know, slowly, creepily heading up there. And she's very, you know, upset. And then that's when girl hears all this noise. I don't think she really went back to bed. I think she's just been sitting up. She hears the noise. She goes and opens up the window all the way in her bedroom. I feel like, okay, she's very excited about this Santa. He doesn't look like any normal Santa you would see. He looks crazy. He's bleeding. And she's super excited. She's like, oh my gosh, Santa. And see, this right here is why we shouldn't lie about Santa. She, you know, if she knew that this was more just like a thing, or that maybe she wouldn't have do what she does here. But she's like, oh, Santa, I've been waiting for you. You know, come on, I'll help you get up into the room. You know, she wants him to come up. Finally, the mom bursts through the closet door in the study. She starts to head upstairs to get her daughter. You know, she's yelling for her, Carrie, Carrie. Opens the door, window's wide open, no daughter. She hears her daughter say, Mommy, goes back downstairs, and Carrie's standing there by the front door, and, you know, oh, thank God you're okay. Well, she's holding hands with the Santa. It's super creepy. There's stuff all over the floor and things, and she's got her little teddy bear, and she's standing there, and Santa's standing next to her holding her hand, and it's the Psycho Santa. And she's like, see, I told you Santa would come. And still, I don't know why she thinks that's an okay Santa, but she let him in. You know, like, he's standing there with the axe and the little girl, and the door goes flying wide open again, letting you know that the daughter let him in. And the Psycho Santa gets this really creepy look. He holds up the axe, and he says, naughty or nice? And she just screams, like, just keeps screaming, no, 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 over and over. Great screaming, though, but I mean, she just keeps, no, no, you know. She doesn't run towards her daughter. She just keeps screaming. The scene with the little girl and him is pretty cool, like kind of creepy, and that's great. But I tell you what's naughty or nice, or what's naughty, is those teeth. Because you get a really good close-up of the Psycho Santa's teeth at that time, and whoo, they are bad. And so then that's how it ends. Her screaming, no, 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 no. And, you know, it kind of leaves it open to interpretation a little bit. I mean, for one, you could think that he killed both of them. Or maybe he just killed the little girl. Or maybe he just killed the mom. Or maybe he got caught. Maybe by the time that was going to happen, the cops are going to burst up through the driveway. You know, they kind of leave it on an end, so that's how it ends. Cuts back to the Crypt Keeper. He took off his Santa mask, and he's just hanging out. And he kind of lets you know that Carrie's probably okay. He kind of makes a little joke about this Santa preferring older women. So in case people were, you know, on TV who were watching at the time were like, oh my gosh, that little girl, you know, is going to get killed. It's leaning more towards either he killed the mom, or, which is still bad. or he got caught. I'm gonna just maybe assume he got caught. You never know. Usually in these shows, whoever is bad is gonna get their comeuppance, but they're both bad in a way. But in a way, the mom kind of did get her comeuppance by having this psycho guy here when she wasn't expecting it. I don't know how it's gonna play out, but they leave it to open, so it's kind of fun. So yeah, so the Crypt Keeper closes it up. He's got a little axe here, and he's throwing out those puns, and ends the episode, and that's it. So that was And All Through the House. It's a fun little Christmas episode. A little bit of trivia about the episode I found here on IMDb. Not too much, but a little bit. This is the first time where the Crypt Keeper says the title of the story in the intro. And he did, but, I guess that counts. It's only the second episode, so, that's not super early or anything, but it's basically when he opened up the main book, he said, 'twas the night before Christmas and all through the house, and then he stopped. So he kind of said it, but, yeah. And then also, the title, And All Through the House, is the first line from A Visit from St. Nicholas, first published anonymously in 1823 by Clement Clark Moore. So that's pretty much all I got for the trivia there. But the best Crypt Keeper pun... Crypt Keeper, you're so punny. Alright, the best Crypt Keeper pun was...
Well, it just goes to show ya. Be very careful what you ask for Christmas. You might just get it.
Get it, guys? Axe. Because there was an axe in the okay, you got it. It's good times. But yeah, so that's the episode. Thank you for listening. Next time, the episode will be Season 1, Episode 3, Dig That Cat, He's Real Gone. So again, thanks for listening.
I just had quite a scare. I actually thought my heart was beating